Yo, how's it going, YouTube? So, I've been asked many times what classes that I use, and I kind of announced out on Twitter about the CBJ back when, nobody was using it, and now everyone is using it, and I decided that I would show my classes. Now, the ones I'm showing you on this video are my competitive classes, and they're a little awkward. You wouldn't really see them used a whole lot, but they work, and they work for me, so that's what I go on, out in the Call of Duty competitive Go scene right now. You're seeing a lot of the MTAR and the Remington and the Vector, but I actually have found different guns because I've went out and used every gun, every single combination, and I've just found guns that completely melt, that work really good for me, and so that's what I use. I don't use the way that, and I have mine kind of set up this way on another class set, where you only have like 2 or 3 guns, and you have a bunch of different classes for that, for certain situations and scenarios. I have a class set like that, but the ones I'm showing you today are kind of a variation of a bunch of these guns that I have certain scenarios for. But this is the main one that I use, and these are the guns that I use. Give or take certain ones depending on, the situations and stuff. I may change up a little bit for certain scenarios, but I'm not gonna, give that away or anything. Alright, so I pretty much have, I'm gonna go ahead and just knock out the specialists. I have pretty much the same things for all my classes, except for a few things that I will talk about. So I have the ICU and TAC resist first in my thing, and then what I did was I put scavenger because you're not gonna need scavenger in competitive. So I put on scavenger. And then I put on sleight of hand, and I put on marathon, and I put on the go, and then this really cool one, it's called Incog. Pretty much, say that you're in search and destroy, and you're over at the B-bomb site on Warhawk, and somebody throws down a thermal on the other team, and they're gonna snipe you with a thermal scope. Well, with Incog on, they can't see you. You are resistant to it. It's a really good strategy. I'm not really sure. I haven't really seen too many people use it. It's not banned. At least it wasn't at MLG Columbus, but it's really good if you don't want to be seen by thermal scopes, and by the looks of it, thermal scope is the #1 most used thing in Ghosts. So I would definitely suggest putting on Incog. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite perks. And then when you see, I have just 2 at the very top, and that's because you can earn it faster. Like if you go and you get your ICU and then you get your TAC resist, well, then you have to work to get a 3rd one. But if you just have 2 on your the big part of your specialist package, you get it faster. And so what I went and did was I filled all my stuff out, and then I went back and I clicked on scavenger to get rid of it, so that I would only have 2 at the top, because you can get to your perks faster that way. And so I like having that set up. It's a little neat trick if you because in competitive, you don't really get to get many of your perks, so it's really good to have the bare minimum so that you get them faster. So yeah, I like that. If you'll notice, I don't have my perks on all of my classes. I've been doing some private matches, messing around with some snipers, and I had to create my classes, and yeah, so I hadn't completely filled them all out, but I do have pretty much the same things. You know, obviously I will change to blast shield, you know, if they're using stuns, if they're using explosives, and, you know, just certain scenarios I will change things back and forth in my perks, but, you know, it's pretty much a given. Just, it depends on what scenario you're in. You don't know. It just depends on who you're playing. Like, some people use a lot of stuns, some people use a lot of smokes, you know, and some people use a lot of grenades. I mean, it just really depends on who you're playing. And I have certain perks set up for each scenario, but I'm not showing those classes today. I'm just showing the main gist of my classes that I use. So let's just go through the guns now. First off is the CBJ. I do have foregrip and muzzle brake on it. Sometimes I do switch over and use the tracker sight, which is really good. If you switch while you're holding it down, you switch to B. I really like that one. And biggest thing is to have smokes on every single class. Those are always good in any scenario. Always have smokes on, whether it be for distraction, anything. Just always have smokes on. And then for my perks, for just regular perks, I have Ready Up, Agility, Quick Draw, Dead Silence, and Focus. Now, Dead Silence, I have it on this one because I do use the CBJ for Search and Destroy. However, I also use it for Blitz and Domination. So when I'm going into Blitz or Domination, I will take off Dead Silence and I put on Marathon so that I can run. But in this case, obviously I have Dead Silence on because I'm ready for Search and Destroy. But again, when I go into Blitz or Domination, I do switch my Dead Silence over to Marathon so that I can run because I am a runner. So my second class, I have the Vepr with Muscle Brake and Grip and a Smoke. Obviously, Smoke is the number one important thing. I have Ready, Marathon, Quick Draw, Dead Silence, and Focus because this is a Search and Destroy class. However, I have been known to bring this out in Blitz. I don't really care for it in Domination. I think I've used it twice in Domination. I really don't like the MTAR. Domination, I just really like the no-scope on the MTAR. That's the only reason why I have it. Alright, I don't really like it that much. Then I have the AK-12, and then I have Smokes, and then Ready Up, Agility, Marathon, Quick Draw, and Focus, because notice I don't have Dead Silence. This is not a Search and Destroy gun. I hardly ever use ARs on Search and Destroy. You know, in pubs, I use the S8 805, and I use the FAD, but I generally don't use ARs for S&D. Because it's mostly just all subs. And then this class I have the MTAR, Muzzle Brake, and Foregrip. I've tried to use the tracker and it just doesn't work well with the MTAR. And then I have Overkill on, and I have the L1115 and a thermal for Search and Destroy, obviously, and then I have a Smoke on, and then obviously this is my sniper class. I do have Incog on for other people using thermals against me. This should actually be Focus, and I don't have Dead Silence on this, and that's because when I'm using my sniper, it's mostly for Warhawk, for the B bomb site. So that would be used in that case. And so I have Ready Up, Incog, Focus, and Overkill. And then my favorite gun, as far as ARs go, is the FAD. It just completely melts. It's like the CBJ for subs. Like, I just completely love it. A lot of people will be like, oh no, it's not good, but then I melt them with it and they're like, oh, really? Yeah, because it's good. I like it. But I have Muzzle Brake and Foregrip on that, and then I have Smoke, and then Ready Up, Marathon, Quick Draw, Focus, and Blast Shield. This is for when people are using explosives and stuff, because I find people like to use a lot of explosives. But when I do use this on occasion for Search and Destroy, like on Octane, I've been able to bring it out. There are a couple maps that I have used this for Search and Destroy, and then I'll just take off Blast Shield because people aren't really going to throw that much stuff besides smokes in Search and Destroy, so I will switch over to Dead Silence. And then this gun is probably the weirdest class that people will probably make fun of, but try it. It works amazing. I have the Amelie. It is a light machine gun, and when I started Call of Duty, I've always hated light machine guns. However, I was playing Hunted or Infected, and I ended up getting this gun and just completely melted with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. I went through every single gun trying to find it, and I finally figured out what gun it was. And I love it. It's got foregrip and armor piercing on it, because when you put armor piercing on it, it either glitches or something, but it makes it unstoppable. And then I have Smoke, and then Ready Up, Agility, Quick Draw, Dead Silence, and Focus. Now this gun, obviously you can see my character, this gun's pretty fucking huge. So obviously you're not going to be able to run as well with this in Blitz and Domination. So I use this light machine gun for my Dead Silence instead of alright, well, so you have seen my competitive class setups, at least some of them, my main ones. You haven't seen my certain ones for certain game modes and certain maps and things like that, but I'm not going to show that, but I did show you the guns that I use, because I have certain ones for each one of these guns. I have certain situations for each one. I have about 2 or 3 classes for each one of these guns that I use on my other classes. But I will be doing my pub classes right after this video, so look forward to that. That one is a little bit more dirty because I do use some pretty nasty classes of things that are banned, so stay tuned for that video, and YouTube, I will see you later.